Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on into another Man Cave 101 podcast show reaction. So, as you guys know, we have been talking about The Last of Us on a weekly basis, sometimes on the podcast, sometimes off of it. So, obviously, we're going to give you our reaction to episode 5 of season 2, which came out just the other night. So, obviously, we want to get into it, talk about all that good stuff. Maybe we'll get into more on Thursday as well. Before we get into it, let me introduce the guys. Spread love is the Brooklyn way. Big Chase, what's happening?
We almost had her this week, bro. We almost had her.
Crazy. I knew you were going to mention that. It's funny you say that. Live from the Man Cave. It's Kalo K, the mom one of God. Leo, what's happening?
I like those sneaky stalking things, bro. Those things are fucking evil as hell.
Stalkers.
Yeah, stalkers. Yeah. Those little motherfuckers.
Yeah. That was honestly probably the creepiest scene of this entire show so far, in my opinion. But anyway, we're gonna get into it. I, of course, the man in the chair, Aaron. So you know what? Let's just dive right into it. So episode 5. I'll hit you guys with where I'm at, just general overview. Definitely picked back up from the last episode for me. I there's still some as a game player. I obviously am always going to have my critiques. That is what it is. But a lot of this stuff from this episode was kind of directly from the game, almost 1-to-1, close. They did their own little spins on things, but you know, obviously we'll get into everything in particular. But how you guys feeling after episode 5?
I mean, listen, I tried to give it some time or whatever have you. Like I said, we'll get into some of the details, but yeah, I mean, I'm back on track a little bit, waiting for. So I got my little zombie hit this week, so I was good with that. You know, got me infected. My bad. Got my infected hit this week, so I was all right.
There you go. Leo, how you feeling after this past episode?
Good.
But
I predicted shit.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Actually, this episode gives us a lot to talk about because they did. I'll be honest with you, they did a large portion of game in this one episode. Like if you were comparing the two, a decent portion of part 2 of The Last of Us is done in this single episode, which I found crazy. So let's kind of start at the very beginning. So beginning of the episode, we see Ellie and Dina devising a plan to go to, I believe, the wolves. One of the mainstays where the wolves are. I guess where the radio tower is. I'm assuming.
It was the hospital.
That was right. So the hospital.
Were they going to the hospital originally though? Is that where they were?
Yeah, because okay, so
let's bring
back to the previous episode where they keep hearing the wolves talking over the radio. And they're telling where everybody is. So they're like, Norman's in the hospital on the 2nd floor, blah, blah, blah. So they know now, where Abby and crew is supposed to be. So this is why they're devising a way to try to get to that particular area.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. So as they're devising this plan, I love the fact that it's reiterated that basically like Dina is the brains and Ellie's just along for the ride and going along with the plan because she didn't know what I think she said triangulation or something.
Yeah. Which is fucking hard to do. First fucking thing, you're actually a person that knows about guns and bullets to say, hey, if I had to fucking triangulate where the sound they're saying that they're coming from and where they're going to be, we don't know shit.
Yeah.
But also Ellie said when they were doing that. They were like, they talk so fucking much. So they're not even worried about who's listening on the radio. They're not even worried about that the radio is missing. They don't care about none of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which in a zombie apocalypse, and you have another faction, they're trying to kill you as well. Wouldn't that be a main concern? You know what I mean? I'm like, apparently, hey, one of our guys is dead, and these radios missing.
Yeah, apparently not. Like. He didn't give a fuck. They was just talking like, yeah, bro, we're going to go down here. We'll be there in 30 seconds. Just turn in the left right here at the corner.
I was like, what? What the fuck?
Yeah. So obviously once we get going and we devise a plan, Ellie and Dina get moving. They end up in a situation where I'm fast forwarding a little bit, but they end up in a situation where they basically get surrounded by stalkers.
So
got it.
let me jump in here quickly. So they go into the building and they find a way to go in basically through the basement. It's an area that's not being guarded, and they were originally saying to each other, well, why aren't they guarding it? In which she was saying probably because there's infected there. So they're expected to run into the normal, slow whatever,
runners
and whatnot.
runners, yeah.
Except when they get there, they see a stalker, and they're like, "Oh shit, it's a stalker." So Abby's like, "Oh shit." I mean, Ellie's like, "Oh shit, wait, that looks like the one I saw earlier." But then they realize there's a whole gang of these motherfuckers down there.
Subtle nod to the game as well, because there's a situation where Ellie's kind of walking through. It doesn't happen with Dina, but where you're walking through and you're playing the game and you end up in a spot where you're actually surrounded by stalkers and you have to kind of maneuver your way outside of the room and try not to get bit by all of them. So it's a nod back to the game as well.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna need them to stop trying to save Dina because we need her chewed the fuck up. Like,
you're not gonna do it, bro. I'm telling you, I don't think so anymore.
But the thing is that once she goes into that room and she sees that motherfucker standing on top of that bookshelf, and he's just sitting there.
Yo, is it wrong that I got excited when I saw him rip the page open? I was like, "Get that back! Get up! Oh shit!"
She's not gonna. The thing is that when the stalkers started ripping the cage, and they had Ellie on the damn ground. I was like, "It's over. It's night time, motherfucker. you ain't gonna make it." So, and then our saving grace baby daddy come in, real baby daddy come in and figure out how to save the day.
Yeah, sure does. Shows up.
Sure does.
The crazy thing that Ellie has to remember too is that even though she can't turn, she's still susceptible to injury and whatnot. So those bites ripping at her flesh can still rip arteries and things that can cause her to bleed out and whatnot. So
they say it verbatim in the game as well. They say whenever somebody who finds out that she's immune, they always tell her like that. You can still get torn to shreds. Like you can still get ripped apart. It is what it is. They'll still kill you. But sometimes she just uses it as like, it's fine. I'll just get bit. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Because she hasn't faced nothing that wouldn't get bit. And that little fucking argument too that they had. Oh, I got bit over there, and she was like, "You got bit over there?" I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh man.
There's no need to argue. So Ellie tells her to go run in the cage. All the stalkers start freaking swarming on Ellie and swarming towards Dina. And they popping off shots. And I'm sorry. If there was that many stalkers in there and you barely got a shot off and you're empty, and I only saw like maybe 2 to 3 stalkers on the ground dead, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fast.
At least there 8 in the there's 8 in the clip. So she had 8, or she had 16, or she had 8. One of the two, there should be at least 7 of them are dead on the ground.
Well, first of all, they can't shoot worth a damn. So there's that. I mean, she's trying to shoot off a big ass gun that shit's her wrists are not that strong, which is evident when we talk about the next situation that happened. So we were lucky she hit anything at all and whatnot. The best they would have did was fucking shoot out a window. And
then
I like, yo.
But baby daddy came in and he came in on capping time.
Yeah.
he took out at least 2 of them and started bucking off on everything. But
I think he took out more than that. I think he got 3 or 4.
He got the one on top of the cage too.
He got the one on top of the cage too. He hit a couple of them.
I thought it was Tommy. I was like, oh shit, Tommy.
Then that's what I thought too.
So did I. I was like, "Oh fuck, it's Tommy." Oh no, it's baby daddy. All right.
There's like, now we're gonna hold off on that.
So I will say that obviously the difference between the show and the game here is that Jesse does come to save them at one point, but it's not at this point. It's actually later in the game. Okay. So that is a subtle change, and the difference also is that we find out that Tommy left Jackson like earlier than we do in the show. So like Jesse says, "Oh, Tommy and I left and we split," right?
Okay.
So that tells you, okay. And by the way, Thank you for having Tommy leave fucking Jackson, because that already gives me a sign of where we're going. I know I screamed about it last week, but
I was like, Aaron's gonna be so happy.
Thank God he left, because I was gonna be pissed if that didn't happen. But I'm glad they did it. So now that's why they didn't do it, so that Tommy saved them, because Tommy's gonna be off on his own fucking killing spree now. That's what that means. That's all that means. Is that he's gonna be off doing his own thing. He couldn't sit around Jackson anymore, especially once he heard that Ellie and Dina left, because everybody figured out they left, right? So you know, so that was kind of that part of it. And I'm glad that it was Jesse that saved them, because it also does happen in the game. He ends up saving just Ellie and not Dina in the game. And because Dina gets left behind because she's pregnant, and that makes fucking sense. But neither here nor there. Creative direction, totally understood. Whatever you want to do.
They started running, and they started seeing. They went into the forest, and they got the wolves busting caps at them all the way through, and they go into the wood. They go into the tree line, I guess the woods or whatever, and the wolves just stop. You heard them on the radio. We don't go in there. I was like, oh. What's inside the woods? As soon as they stopped and started looking, why are they not coming in and following us? I was like, oh, there's something bad in there. There's something real bad in there.
That's Seraphites territory from the game, with all the whistling and shit.
Oh, okay.
All that whistling and the bows flying, all that's from the game. That's all a point in the game. Yeah.
Boy, but when she caught one, what's the face caught one in the fucking leg?
Sure did. All of a sudden, you heard a whistle, and you heard, and the fucking arrow was in her goddamn eye.
I was like,
oh shit.
When I saw it, I was like, oh no, you're definitely going back now.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so Aaron got his part. That they came in there to save him, and then Chase got his part. She took an arrow to the fucking leg.
Bro, are we just not going to talk about how the Seraphite strung the dude up and cut his insides out? Directly from the game, by the way. I didn't know they were going to do it, but they did it.
Crazy, crazy. They live. First of all, she stuck him, and they had him strung up, and then just let gravity do the work. I was like, y'all just wrong for that, man.
That motherfucker was plucking off his buttons, bro, with the damn knife. You saw that? It was just click, click, pop all his buttons on his shirt. I was like, you are an evil motherfucker for that, bro.
You know what's really weird to me is I'm trying to figure out Max's basically like their threshold as far as what they're showing us. And what I mean by that is, like, sometimes I feel like they do takeaways from scenes. Like I'll give you an example. Joel's death scene, not as brutal in the show as it was in the game. She did a stab in the neck with a knife, right? In the game, she actually was bashing his face in with the club. So Max didn't want to show that. It's Pedro Pascal. They're not going to show him getting his face bashed in. I understood, right? I was like, okay, cool. That scene, they actually showed exactly what happened in the game. The scythe, is that what it was? A little scythe? A little scythe hooked the dude, and then they strung him up and cut, and all his intestines fell out. You saw the whole thing. His intestines were falling out as he was doing it. So I was like, damn, okay, they actually did that 1-to-1. And then, not to skip around, but later in the episode, the Ellie Nora scene, they scaled that back too from the game as well. That was worse in the game. Yeah, but I'm gonna get into that.
I wanted to see that though.
I'm gonna get into. We'll get into that when we get to that part. But yes, we'll get into that.
So she sees them. She sees them kill this dude, and they start chasing her, and she sees a big ass tree, and she hides in the bottom of the tree. And I'm like, I don't know how they did. I'm like, don't y'all motherfuckers live there? You don't know that the damn tree is hollow? You live there. It ain't that big. You know that she's there. She got to be high, but we ain't even gonna look in the damn tree. I was like,
and why is this is another thing? Why wouldn't the stalkers be in the goddamn woods too? That's the perfect hideout for them motherfuckers.
I get the feeling that the stalkers don't like outside. They're always in buildings. So for whatever reason, they are like trapdoor spiders and stuff like that. They're ambush predators. They don't really like outside. They like to be inside and whatnot.
They creep in the shadows. That's their whole thing.
Yeah.
Their whole thing is they want to stay hidden the whole time and ambush you, like Chase said. They're not trying to, they're not running straight at you. They're more intelligent. So they're trying to make sure they get you versus a runner they're barely like they're just running at you to try and
Yeah,
get
they
you.
don't care.
There's
They don't
no,
give a
they don't
damn,
care.
like-
They don't care. Also, that tree I just want to mention is like a very famous. So like from the game, if you actually go look up the picture, like the tree scene with Ellie,
Right.
that's a very like well known. At one point in the time where she's really happy, she's like playing the guitar against the tree. And then when the Seraphites are trying to find her, she's like famous for hiding against a big tree, waiting to like pounce on them. It's like almost, it's like a symbolism thing. The tree is like a symbolism for like Ellie and her whole story and all that. So it's like a very big. So I was actually really excited that they did that. The hospital scene. So I guess we're gonna go to the hospital scene now, right?
Yes.
Right.
So this is a thing that I don't know if you guys are gonna remember. So I'm gonna, because from when I played the game, because obviously, like I said, in case you guys missed it, I played the game, both games, multiple times. So I kind of have gotten references to these things. If you go back to the beginning of the episode and you remember the two women having a conversation about how the one woman's son went to the lower level of the hospital and then he got stuck and told them to seal it off, right?
Right.
So that whole thing is a subtle nod to the fact that in the lower level of the hospital, there's more advanced infected than there are out there. So in other words, like they've been stuck in the lower levels of the hospital for like 20 years or some shit like that since this whole thing is going. Yeah. So, and you have to remember this disease infected, it continues to evolve over time. Right. So that's what happens. That's how you get from the beginning stages of a runner, then you go to a stalker, then you go to a clicker, then you go to a bloater.
Okay.
There's a bigger enemy out there than a bloater.
Okay.
And that is probably what's being brewed in that lower level of the hospital, which in a later iteration of the game, when you play as Abby, you end up facing the Rat King, which is that gigantic thing that chases you around for like a whole time. And so they're alluding to the fact that the Rat King is in the basement, and and when Abby goes down there to figure out what happened with, or at some point when she goes down there to figure out what's going on, she's going to encounter it more than likely. So
I like it.
I think that's going to be the next season. I don't think we get that in this season. It wouldn't shock me because they have progressed really fast, but I didn't see it in this episode. I saw hints of it. I saw there was like a rat that was when Ellie went in that little, like eluding the guard and the dog. There was like a rat that was underneath there. They were alluding to that, the Rat King. It's called the Rat King. They were like making notes. And then when she found Leon, the dude's son, who was sitting up against the wall like this, that couldn't move because he was so infected. Like basically they're saying like the Rat King is taking all the nutrients it could from everything that died down there and becoming one gigantic monster that they have to take care of at some point in time. So it's a whole nod to the game. Like the whole thing is a nod.
I do like the way that they're using the human bodies as the spore disbursement.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's go back a little bit. So they get in the hospital and Ellie finds Nora. So first of all, she walks in on Nora, who's like changing or something. She was Nora
cleaning the gauze.
She's got Nora in the sights, and she does not pop on her. She's busy talking. Where's Abby? And shoot her. No, we're gonna talk. And then Nora, well, I forgot how she gets away and she starts running.
She threw the thing at her, the pan with the water.
The water
she printed out the thing. Yeah,
the water that had alcohol inside.
Alcohol in it. It had rubbing alcohol. Yeah, she was cleaning.
She was cleaning the gauze from the guy that she was helping out.
Yeah,
right. So now she's hauling ass. Now she wants to shoot. This chick could not hit the wall. She couldn't hit anything. She'd have had better aim if she closed her fucking eyes. She's just pop, pow, pow, pow. She's hitting everything but the chick who's literally a line eye right in front of her. I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
We're gonna be dramatic.
Yeah, basically.
And then Nora's screaming her head off that there's an intruder. The guys up there with the semis, they can't shoot worth it.
They also missed everybody. Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, what the hell are y'all? I'm like,
I call it the stormtrooper protocol.
Yeah, basically, that's how that goes. Yep.
And Nora finds herself at a dead end where she can't get out because they blocked off staircases. So she decides to go down the elevator shaft, which they have kind of sealed off. But she pulls the doors open and she goes in there and she falls. Ellie follows her into the shaft, and now the rest of the security from the wolves are chasing her. So now she goes in there, and now they're both down there in the bottom. Obviously, no story short, because the infection is in the air, Nora starts getting sick, but she thinks that Ellie's gonna die also. Ellie's just looking at her like, nah, bitch, I'm good. You might not make it though.
Yeah, when she put away the gun, that's when you saw the shock in her face. That she knew that you're the one that they were trying to get the cure from in the other last season.
Right.
When Joel took out everybody in the goddamn hospital.
Right.
So after she finds out, that look on her face was fucking priceless.
Yeah, bro. She was like, "Oh shit."
It was that moment where she tracked Nora down in the red hallway and all that, after she turned the lights on and all that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time I got the Ellie that I've been wanting. That's what I was trying to explain to you guys. That is how Ellie acts in the game. She's ruthless. Like, she wants her answers and she wants to know where Abby is, and you're gonna give her the answer, or I'm gonna bash your fucking brains in with a pipe. That's Ellie from the game. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with
That's the Ellie I was looking for. That's why the whole last episode rubbed me the wrong way, because she wasn't acting like Ellie. That's how Ellie acts. She acts like that. You know what I'm saying?
But now in the game, when she caught up to her ass, did you get to see the bashing?
You did it. You were the person who did the bashing with the pipe. Well, yeah, they had you swing, so you were hitting her with the pipe. Yeah.
Yeah. See, in this we don't get to see the bash hitting.
But see, that's my point.
She went out like a G though. She did. She was going out like a G. She told him, "Fuck you! I ain't telling you shit."
Mm-hmm.
She was, because she's about to die anyway.
Mm-hmm.
She knows she's about to become infected, so she's like, "I ain't gonna tell you shit. I'm gonna get my shit bashed in, and that's it."
If the show follows closely to the game like it did this past episode, then this next episode, she will probably overhear something on a radio as she's leaving the hospital or something like that, and she'll end up trying to make her way to the aquarium to find Abby, only to find her friends like Owen and all them. And then it'll be, because Ellie does encounter after encounter with each one of Abby's friends until she actually finds her. Basically, is how it goes.
Yes, that's what I was hoping for, right there.
That's probably what's going to end up happening if I had to guess. Again, I'm making an assumption based on where the game goes. You know,
but let's just hope that this time she learns to shoot. Let's just shoot, Abby. Just shoot him, and then don't worry about the rest of it. We'll find the rest of them.
That's the thing, though. They like in the. It's tough to say, because I feel like there's about to be some other scenes in this where, if this is the Ellie we get now that we saw in that last red hallway scene, if that's the turn she's made, we could be in for a treat. I don't want them to revert her back to like, oh my god, so excited, because like I don't want to see it. Like I don't want to see it. I want to see the Ellie. I want to see.
Wait, do that again.
Oh my god, I'm so excited! You're having a baby. Oh my god. No, I don't need that. I don't care. Like, I want the one who's out there trying to avenge Joel. That's the Ellie I want. That's what I want.
The problem is, as soon as she stopped bashing what's the face, we get automatically we get the flashback that you were talking about. Mm-hmm. So we're getting Joel walking into the room, knocking on the door, and walking in the room, waking her up in her own bed, and she's all smiles again.
Mm-hmm. That's what I think is kind of interesting, right? So like, they're kind of depicting Ellie a little bit different so far. Like I said, it really depends on where we go from here. You have to remember, that just to me means that she went into a rage and she blacked out, and then woke up in a happy place, right? It's kind of how it goes. You know what I'm saying? And obviously,
when she really wakes up, she's gonna find a whole bloody ass.
Right. So she's gonna be covered in blood and be like, "Oh shit! Like what just happened?" Exactly. And if you think Max isn't gonna use every opportunity to do flashback scenes with Pedro Pascal as Joel, you're crazy. They're gonna do it every chance they get. Yeah. You know. One other thing I did want to mention. So, the actress who plays Nora. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but so what game company makes The Last of Us? Naughty Dog. The chick who played Nora is actually the lead star in Naughty Dog's next game, which we did a reaction to, Intergalactic. She's the lead character in Intergalactic.
Okay.
So, yes, the one
yes.
with the bald headed and watching
Yes.
the TV. Okay, yes. Space.
Yes.
Okay.
So Naughty Dog tends to do things like this where they'll include. There's a lot of actors from the game who are also in the show, and she's somebody who's in the show. That was a change because Nora in the game doesn't look like the Nora in the show, which. If you want to complain about it, it's fine. I don't really care. It worked either way. She was fine. I don't really care, but I feel like they did that because she's going to be the star in their next game, and it's kind of like a little publicity for her as well, being the next star of their next solo adventure game, so to speak. So
yeah, you got your head bashed in by Ellie.
Yeah, pretty much. I was gonna say she wasn't in the show for very long. She only had like 3 episodes she was in. So
listen, how long you got to be there?
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's get to the shits.
But no, overall, and that told Chasey and everything. It was directly from the game, So I had no issues with it, except for like Chase said, the shooting. Sometimes the shooting when we watch these shows, I'm just like, nobody hits anything. Nobody hit the broadside of a barn. It is what it is. Like,
I'm like, how could she? It's a hallway. There are no distractions. There's like no real furniture in your way. All you got to do is just point straight and shoot. And she was hitting everything except what was in front of her.
Yeah, but there's those guys. They had the high ground too.
Yeah,
they had the high ground. They were shooting down right at fucking. Yeah. All you got to do is
fish in a bowl. Fish in a bowl, and you couldn't do that.
Now,
yep. Okay. So listen, the show. I was trending towards like, oh, is this gonna go in? Then I heard Tommy left Jackson. Super excited. Jesse's out here. Jesse's ass is dead. Hate to tell you guys, Jesse's ass gonna die. He's dead at some point. He's definitely fucking dead.
That's all right. It's worth the sacrifice.
He's definitely fucking dead. What they do with Dina never I don't remember Dina ever getting hit with an arrow in the game. So that's different. So to Chase's point, maybe they're gonna do something tragic with Dina at some point in the show.
Dina gotta go, bro. Listen,
wouldn't surprise me.
Come on, looky rat king.
You know what I think? Listen, I'm gonna make and obviously, listen, this is spoilery for those of you out there again who haven't played the game or watched the game or any of that. I'm gonna go out on a limb and give like a little prediction here. So there's a scene towards the end of the climax of part 2 where Abby then goes on the hunt for Ellie because she's taken out most of her friends that were there when they killed Joel, right? So then Abby goes on the hunt and says, why are you chasing me? Abby then takes out Jesse, shoots Tommy in the face, but Tommy lives. My opinion, I think to Chase's point, if there's a scene where like she's getting ready to kill Dina, and in the game, Ellie's like, she's pregnant, don't do it. But I think in the show, they might change that bitch around and be like, I don't give a shit. Blah. And that's it. So,
we're gonna get a red wedding? Are you kidding me?
At this point, I wouldn't be. After I saw her get shot with an arrow, I was kind of like, she was kind of not hit the rest of the game after you found out she was pregnant until that last scene.
Yeah.
So, like, in my opinion, they might be hinting at futurely, like, she's not untouchable. Like, somebody could do the job if we really wanted them to. You know what I mean? Like,
shit, we actually forgot one part too in the beginning too. We also find out how Dina, who was the first person that she killed.
Oh yes, we did. They did do that, which I don't think she did that in the game. She spoke about stuff being in New Mexico with her mom and stuff like that. I remember, but she didn't talk about. I don't think she talked about who she killed first in the game, which was a little bit of a change, but it's cool. Good little tie-in. I mean, like, my thing is, obviously, listen, the game is like 30 hours in length total, so obviously they're kind of breezing through a lot of parts, right? Which is I get it, because I think it's kind of what we mentioned last week. They're gonna skip to. Eventually, you're going to get the story from the perception of Abby, right? And that's fine. It will probably work for Max, to be honest with you, I think. Right. I just want to see – I need to see more of what I saw in this episode in terms of, like, the whole scene with the stalkers. The shots there were really good. Tommy's out here now. Violent Tommy. I need Tommy – I need Tommy out here on crash out mode. I don't, you know what I'm saying?
I need Tommy on Sisu mode.
So so where I'm at with that though is, does Tommy get to Abby's friends before Ellie gets to the friends? Because now, if Tommy kills Abby's friends before Ellie does, Ellie and Tommy gonna have an issue.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah,
especially if she gets the idea that somehow that Tommy will get to Abby before she does.
So in the game, it's kind of a 50-50. Tommy takes out a decent portion of them, and then Ellie takes out a decent portion of them. It's kind of like half and half. There's a lot of people in the cabin, keep in mind.
Yeah,
you know?
but listen, where's the fun in that? We don't want friends, we want conflict.
I agree. If we get the sniper rifle scene from the game with Tommy, that scene is fucking elite to me. He literally like shoots dude through the back of the neck and the bullet like comes out dude's mouth. Like insane shit.
That's what I'm talking.
And that's what he does to like Abby's best friend. And you're like, oh shit. Like what the fuck just
I hope he did it right in front of her ass too.
He literally they were like trying to budge a door open, and then all of a sudden he turns and he's like, Abby, we have to, and then also you just see the bullet. And she's like, oh shit. She's literally like right next to him, and the bullet just flies through his face. You're like, nice. Oh my God. If we get that, if we get the consequences, if we get that in the show, oh my God, it's gonna be crazy. I don't know, but again, Max has kind of gone back and forth. It's like we got to see the guts hanging out, but we didn't get to see Ellie bash Nora's head in. You know what I'm saying? Like they're going back and forth with what they're showing and what they're not. So I'm like, how far are they gonna take it? You know, I don't know.
Maybe wait. Maybe we get to see a couple of the smashing in because when she comes back from that fucking the happy place. She goes back from the happy place. Maybe she's still at least give me 2 good whacks. Let me see 2 good whacks and I'll be all right.
Yeah, because you have to remember whenever she wakes up, there's not going to be anybody over her because nobody can go down there and breathe in the spores.
Right.
So she's going to wake up by herself whenever she gets up from that. So how's she going to get back? You know. Also, go get the damn horse. Y'all left the horse in the record shop.
Yeah. Did y'all feed that motherfucker?
The horse said, I'm good. I'm listening. Listening to some J. Cole, that new Kendrick.
The new Kendrick.
The new Kendrick is out.
Nah, he listening to Bob Marley. He probably baked.
Bob Marley. Yeah.
Oh, man. Now, listen, it's gonna. I think, like I keep on saying, I'm in. I'm gonna keep watching. I love the game. I love, the show is. It's got parts where I gripe, and then there's, but for the most part, I'm satisfied, especially coming back to this episode. 2 more episodes left for the season, and then I think they're gonna switch to Abby's part, kind of. At least is where I think they're going. So, we'll see. Do you guys have any closing thoughts about this episode before we get out of here?
Nah, man. Let's stop playing. Let's get Dina on a burger and a bun, and just let's just. Get to this.
She took an arrow, bro. She took an arrow through the thigh.
I need Dina to go. She gotta go. She's.
Oh man, yeah. So Chase is over Dina at this point. So
I need Ellie. I need. She found that pipe. I need to see her use the pipe.
That would have been good to see, though. Honestly, I would have liked to see it a little more ruthless. I want
to see it. Show it to me.
I wanted to see it. Yeah, I'm in agreement with you on that one. And I'll just say, I think that if we're trending in this direction, as long as we don't have a flop for episode 6, I'm kind of still going to be hooked. So we'll see. I mean, I'm locked in for the most part. This episode definitely brought me back after my worries from last week. So we'll see what happens. But obviously, you guys let us know down in the comment section how you're feeling. How was episode 5? You're excited for the rest of the season and what they're going to do in a second part. Let us know. Before we get out of here, I'll hit you guys with a quick spiel. Your boys are up over 2,800 subscribers here on YouTube. We appreciate the love and support in our recent videos. But as I always say, these bills do not pay themselves. We tried. They don't let us. It's not how it works.
Yeah, we got laughed out of there. That was embarrassing last time.
So if you guys could drop a like, subscribe. Also, you could consider signing up to become a member, which is in the description section. That would be a hothead. So if you click the link down in the description, just $2.99 a month, you get priority comments in the comment section of our weekly podcast. I'll talk more about that in a minute. You can spam some emotes. There's one in there that makes Leo drink. It's all part of the contract. Don't even worry about it. So
he good. Don't worry about him. We good.
He's good.
He good.
Not doing trailer reviews, goddamn.
Yeah.
Not during trailer reviews is actually fair though. You guys could also check out the link to join our Discord channel if you become a member. If you want to play some games with us in there, we're running some Marvel Rivals here and there right now, so you can obviously join up. I will yell at you if I get pissed off. That's just my personality. I can't help it. I apologize.
Which is the entire fun, just by the way, guys.
Kind of, as long as you take it. Also in the description section, you guys should consider checking out the link for mancave101.org, aka the merch site. We got new designs dropping in there all the time. Spring and summer are upon us, the warmer weather. So you guys should consider checking it out. I'm gonna let Chase talk more about the designs, because every time I try to talk to the art department or sneak a peek, I get booted out immediately. So I see them when you guys do. So
I don't know what's going on with you in the art department. They got their own thing. Have you tried to bring them flowers or something, bro? Like you need to like make peace or something. Like it's the weirdest thing and whatnot. But yo, listen, man. Definitely, maybe that too. Maybe you just need to do some shots or something. I don't know, bro. So listen, mancave101.org is the website. It's our merch shop. It's our swag shop, man. Definitely stop by. New stuff going up all the time. Something for all the nerds and the blurs, and that's the word and all of that. You know what I'm saying? T-shirts, hats, hoodies, bags, tote-wear, all kinds of stuff. Drinkware. We have something for just about everybody up there. As the man in the chair said, new stuff goes up all the time and whatnot. So definitely check out the site. Come back if you don't see something on that particular day. Just come back on another day and check us out. We new stuff going up there all the time, and the art department is hard at work. That's which probably the reason why they kick Aaron out all the time, because it's probably in the way and whatnot. You want samples of everything. Definitely get yourself some drinkware, because it's going to be hot this summer. We want you to stay thirsty and quench your thirst and all of that. Whatever you put into that thing is not my business. I'm just saying, but it holds a decent amount of libations and stuff like that. And my big guys, our stuff goes up to 5X, so there will be no belly shirts and no cold belly buttons this summer for you guys. Great fits on all of the stuff. Just cop something, man. We just cop it. We thank you in advance for that, because the bills don't pay themselves. So trust me, they don't.
Absolutely. Also, if you guys could, I mentioned our podcast a little while ago. Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern. You can catch us live streaming right here on YouTube, as well as Facebook and Instagram. If you're an audio listener, you can catch the playback of our podcast there. It is at Spotify and or Apple Podcast. If you could leave a nice review over there, 5 stars is obviously preferable, but anything you got to say it with your chest. As I always say, that's all I got, man. Until the next episode, episode 6 next week. Catch us here. Catch you guys next time. Peace.
Take another L to the face.
Infected Dina. Just concentrate. Focus, man. Focus. Y'all almost had it. It was that close. Like, damn.
So
crazy, bro.
Man.
Pull up to the man cave. 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 Pull up to the man cave.